Hey, what's up, man? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. And you know what we got to do, man? We got to bring this thing in the right way. So, man, let's get this thing started. You know what I'm saying? Hold up 1 second. Let's get it started right. Let's go. Hey, what's up, man? What up, everybody? Man, hopefully everybody is doing all right today, man. It's a lot of breaking news overnight with the arrest of Lil Durk, man. I'm going to keep it real, man. This one came as a shock because, you know, Lil Durk always seemed like the kind of guy that was going to be the winner at the end of all this, you know? And when I say all this, I'm talking about this whole drill rap scene and all the drill rap drama that's been going on, man. Now, for those of you who haven't been paying attention, yesterday there was a high-profile case where some guys got arrested. Well, there was the unsealing of an indictment. Let's phrase it right. And it relates back to the shooting death of Quando Rondo's cousin, Lil Pab. Now, Lil Pab was shot and killed in Los Angeles, of all places. And, you know, people were always trying to put the pieces together, didn't understand or know exactly what happened. But, you know, Lil Durk's name was always out there as somebody who might have been potentially involved in this. Come to find out, according to this indictment, they believe that OTF was responsible for the shooting. And they ended up arresting 5 individuals yesterday, and then Lil Durk being arrested being the 6th, man. It's a crazy situation that one of the top rappers in the game is now looking like he's going to be fighting for his life in that court, man.
Bruh.
Yeah, man, that's how I felt about the situation. This is crazy, man. Now, one thing about Lil Durk is, you know, he's been resilient, man, throughout his career. He's actually, you know, outlasted a lot of people in this game, and I thought that was going to be his ending. I thought he was just going to go out on top, and that'll be the deal. But, man, it looks like Lil Durk's story is taking another direction, and it's a sad direction if you want to be truthful, man. So, man, what I want to do is let's go ahead and play this news clip that talks about exactly what's going on with Lil Durk in this trial.
Waking up behind bars here in South Florida, accused of an alarming crime.
7 Samantha Sosa is live outside of the Broward County Jail with how he ended up there. Samantha.
Well, Alex Tavares, he was arrested yesterday, and let's go ahead and take a look at his mugshot. This is rapper Lil Durk. As we said, he was arrested yesterday. He is popular for many songs, even won a Grammy. Lil Durk, his real name Durk Devontae Banks, is charged by U.S. Marshals in the Broward County Jail, being held right now. The arrest.
All right, so from what you heard right there, Lil Durk was arrested yesterday, and they were outside the courthouse early this morning, man, trying to get the scoop, or probably trying to see if he bonded out or anything. But the crazy part about this is Lil Durk is gonna be extradited or escorted or within the states, you know, they transferred over to California. So he's waiting to be transferred to California just to face his charges and be indicted like the rest of the guys from Chicago, man. This is crazy. I'm gonna keep it real, man. This is one of the most crazy things I've seen in hip hop in a while. Because, man, you know, at the level that Lil Durk's at, you wouldn't expect anything of this nature, anything like this to come around. You know what I mean? Because at the end of it, it felt like he had got past all this. After the O Block case, it seemed like everything had cooled down. There wasn't much dissing. Yeah, there was subliminal dissing, and we'll get to a little bit of that. And obviously, you know, there were people who had rumors out there, but things for the most part for Lil Durk had quieted down, man. It seemed like he would never have to end up in a situation where he would be the one who's going to do time for the long run. I mean, King Von has already passed away. He's gone. Quando Rondo, he's been fighting his own legal cases. He's got fed cases and state cases of his own in his home city of Savannah, Georgia, you know, his home state. So it seemed like it was dying down. But, man, just as soon as Lil Durk is about to drop his album, here comes all the drama, man.
Bruh.
I'm a be real, man. Man, this sounds horrible to say, but I think this is going to drive up more interest in the album because now people are going to be trying to decode what's in the album or whatnot. And nobody wants their Fed case to be the promotion for the album, man. That's the worst thing in the world because you'll spend more money fighting the feds than you will making off what you'll make off that album, I'm pretty sure. You know what I'm saying? But, man, this is for Lil Durk, you know what I'm saying, to be going through this at this time is odd to say the least, man, because like I said, it felt like he was almost at the finish line. But man, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, I guess, you know? And I'm not saying that Lil Durk is involved just because he's been arrested and they're saying that he's somebody in this trial or he's one of the main conspirators in this trial. But man, let's get to some of the rumors and the news story. Actually, before we get to the rumors, let's actually talk about the news story, right? So the news story that's out there, the news story that broke yesterday, I just want to gloss over a little bit with you guys if you want, man. So let's go there. All right, so this is the news story that broke yesterday. You see in the headline there, federal charges filed against 5 accused in murder-for-hire shooting in retaliation for killing of rapper King Von, man. So basically, you know, these 5 guys were alleged to have jumped into the streets to get revenge for King Von, man. That seemed like their motivation in this whole situation, which is, I'd hate to say commendable or admirable, but, you know, when you're playing these crash-out games, there's really nothing real commendable about it, man. And I've seen people already say this, so we're going to get this out of the way. If Durk is in any way involved in this, and I'm not saying that he is, yes, it's still a crash-out move. I know a lot of people were saying, well, everybody was going at Lil Durk saying, slide for Von, slide for Von. How can you switch up on him now? Nah, just because people tell you to do it doesn't mean you have to do it. And just because people make online jokes and memes and stuff doesn't mean that you got to go out there and throw your life away, man. Forget that mess, especially if you rich. If you rich, man, forget these fools, man. Ain't nothing in the world to make me crash out. You know what I'm saying? To impress some people on the internet that are going to diss me for crashing out in the first place, man. So, yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword when it comes to rappers in that regard. But, man, to be perfectly honest, man, Lil Durk is playing a crazy game if he's involved in this. Now, there's rumors that there's people who are closely directed to connected to Lil Durk. I'm talking about did interviews talking about Lil Durk, even saying, hey, Lil Durk helped me out with this, got me a place, all this stuff, who might be involved in the case. You know what I'm saying? And cooperating in the case, who might be cooperating in the case. I don't know for a fact, but that's what's being said, right? Now, in Chicago, federal charges have been filed against 5 people accused in the murder-for-hire plot targeting rapper Quando Rondo over his suspected involvement in the killing of emerging Chicago rapper King Von in 2020 in Atlanta. And as you guys remember, man, that scene where King Von lost his life was a mess. Let's be honest, man. Two other people got killed. One other guy got shot to where his head kind of like will never be the same again. Somebody else, you know what I'm saying? Lil Tim also got shot. It was just a mess of a scene, man. And it all started with a fight between King Von and Quando Rondo. Now, Quando Rondo obviously took the blame for that situation, but I'm surprised that he was the intended target as opposed to the guy who actually pulled the trigger, allegedly Lil Tim. You know what I mean? Because Lil Tim, well, I'm pretty sure this hurt Lil Tim as well because Lil Tim and Lil Pab were tight too. So I even got a picture of them. Pull this up, man. Of Lil Tim and Lil Pab hanging out or whatnot, man. I mean, to be real, these cats are all crew. You know what I'm saying? Are all cool with each other. So, you can barely see Lil Tim in that picture, but I think he's the guy in the back. But I had another picture as well. But man, regardless, all these guys are tied in, and it's amazing that, man, well, it's not amazing. It's wild that the fact that they picked out of everybody Quando Rondo to be the intended target. You know what I mean? Now, he is the big name, and he is the money over there. So them losing Quando Rondo would really, really hurt their crew or whatnot, man. But you see from the recent video that Lil Tim and Quando Rondo did with Charleston White that they're surviving. They're vibrant. They're doing what they're doing, man. I'm not too sure about the show money thing anymore because remember for a minute there, Lil Durk was getting Quando Rondo's shows pretty much shut down every time he tried to do a show. And it was like, or it was alleged that it was Lil Durk. Nobody knows who it was. And there was even a shooting outside of one of the shows. So you never know what in the world was going on. But it seems like all the pieces are starting to fall in line. And the feds have been watching this stuff all along. You know what I'm saying?
Bruh.
You know what I mean? So it seems like Lil Durk and his crew were being watched. Now let me continue reading this story so we can get to some of the newer details. Now, the indictment, unsealed in U.S. District Court in Los Angeles on Thursday, charged Kayvon Landon Grant, remember that name, DeAndre Dontrell Wilson, Keith Jones, David Brian Lindsay, and Asa Houston. You know what I mean? Those named in the indictment are facing charges including conspiracy to commit murder for hire, committing murder for hire resulting in death, as well as use, carry, discharge of firearms, and a machine gun in furtherance of a crime of violence resulting in death. Now, the crazy part about it is they're calling for the death penalty for all this. Like, they want the death penalty. They want these cats to, you would think that they would just be trying to seek life in jail. Nah, man, they already put it out there. They want them to get the death penalty if they're found guilty for this, including Lil Durk. Lil Durk is on the list for that as well, man. Now, as everybody's breaking down the indictment, people are trying to figure out who the informants are, who are the ones who are talking or whatnot. But it's safe to say that there's more than one person who's probably talking based on what the paperwork is saying. And we'll go over that a little later. But man, let's continue with this story. Now, prosecutors allege that all 5 individuals named in the indictment have ties to the hip hop group Only the Family, formed by Chicago rapper Lil Durk in 2010. So, you know, Lil Durk, OTF, that's been around forever, right? And this is the weird part about it with Lil Durk. You know, he's been in hip hop so long and been a mainstream rapper for so long, it feels kind of odd he's catching this fake case. You know, it always seems like it's artists on a lower tier. You know, even Young Thug, him catching his case was kind of weird too, because, you know, mainstream artists almost seem protected, but when it comes to certain things, obviously that doesn't apply, you know? Now, according to the indictment, 2 years after the 2020 murder of rapper King Von, whose real name is Davon Daquan Bennett, outside an Atlanta hookah lounge, alleged members of OTF offered money and music opportunities in exchange for the murder of Georgia-based rapper Quando Rondo, whose real name is Tyquan Terrell Bowman, in retaliation for his suspected involvement in the killing. Now, in all honesty, we've seen the video of King Von losing his life a million times. Only thing Quando Rondo was doing was throwing hands back. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was all he was doing. And he wasn't doing a good job at it. He was holding his own. You know what I'm saying? It's just 2 people throwing, and then the shots start to ring out. You know what I mean? Now, the indictment further alleged that the OTF members used a credit card associated with the group to purchase plane tickets to fly the defendants to California on August 18th, 2022, to search for Bowman after learning that he was staying at a hotel in Los Angeles. It added that Grant flew to LA from Miami via private jet to oversee the operation. Now, I said this last night, my live last night. Who in their right mind is chilling in Miami and says, yo, you know what? Let me go ahead to LA to carry out this hit or to oversee it. No, dog, I don't want to be, I don't do crime, you know what I'm saying? And I don't carry out hits or nothing like that. But it seems like if I'm already in Miami, me flying all the way around the country just to see it being done won't help it get done any better. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously they already made several mistakes. Like using a OTF related credit card, I gotta see that. They gotta prove that. Because I cannot believe that Lil Durk would have a credit card that's attached to the label, like a business card, and use that in a hit, you know, in a commission of a crime. Like, that already implicates your business. They're gonna shut your doors down, close the bank accounts, all that, man. That's a nightmare situation, you know what I'm saying? Then how do you pay people who work for you, all that, man? So there's a lot that goes into running a business, and using the business credit card for a paid hit is not on the menu, you know what I mean? On the real. Now, no laughing matter. I know this is serious, and I know we're supposed to treat this as serious, but man, that's so boneheaded and so dumb, I can't even understand it. Yeah? All right, somebody in the comments said he's done. Yeah, it's looking like it, man. Hopefully not, man. I don't wish the death penalty or jail on nobody. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else in the comments said all that drilling caught up to him. It's time to pay the piper. Maybe so, man. Yeah, and I hate that for Lil Durk. Don't get me wrong, man. I hate it for Lil Durk, but man, I'm just hoping this is all cap. But you know, it's the feds, and they don't waste their time. And they got a huge budget, it just doesn't seem like something that they would care about, you know? But let's continue with the story. It says, once in LA, now this is the guy Grant they're talking about. So the guy Grant, he flew from Miami to LA to oversee the whole hit according to the indictment, right? Now it says that once in LA, Grant allegedly booked a room at the Universal City Hotel for the co-conspirators before he met them there to provide them with guns, prosecutors said. Now, I'm wondering, they're saying that he used the credit card to buy plane tickets, to purchase plane tickets. So I'm wondering, that's a tough one, bro. I don't know. But is he loosely related to OTF? Like, how do they know that the credit cards that he used were actually connected to OTF, the business? Like OTF, Lil Durk and them? Because that seems like the only thing they'd be pulling them in, except for some snitch rumors that we're going to be getting to a little bit later. You know what I mean? Now, once in LA, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so the indictment also stated that Grant allegedly rented a white BMW sedan and a white Infiniti. And I said this last night as well. Why two luxury cars? Like, why wouldn't you want to just blend in with some regular cars, dog? Then he said, which were later used to track and follow Bowman, who is Quando Rano, as he, his sister, and his cousin, 24-year-old Savia Robinson, drove around in LA in a black Cadillac Escalade on August 19th. So it looks like between the 18th and 19th is when this hit was carried out. The plane got set on the 18th where he used the credit cards to buy the plane tickets. Then by the 19th, they were all set, just driving around LA looking for this black Escalade. Now, this is the question that a lot of people are posing online. Who put the drop on Quando Rondo? How did they know what car he was in? How did they know he was even in LA? Did he check in with somebody? You know what they say about this checking in stuff, man. Like all this checking in stuff, it seems like it's just another way to fleece money out of or extort people, man. And who's to say if you check in with some or somebody that they're not going to backdoor you and rob you anyway and sell you your stuff back? We've heard of that. They were like, yo, you got to check in with us if you're in our city. They send somebody, one of the little homies or whatever, to rob them after they leave in the club. Then they say, hey, man, you got robbed. We heard y'all got robbed. Then the same little homie that they sent to rob them, they tell them, hey, we know the dudes who robbed you, man. We going to get your chain back. I told you I got you. Just pay us a little something. We'll get your chain back. And they go get the chain back. Rapper pays them. It was all a hustle from the start. You know what I'm saying?
Bruh.
You got to be quicker than that. Because obviously, you know, when you checking in these cities with these other rappers or other alleged gang members and stuff, what makes you think that they have your best interests at heart? And I think parts of Quando Rondo seem savvy, but parts of me said, yeah, he probably did check in. He probably went over there to whatever he claims and told them, yeah, y'all, I'm here. Y'all looking out for me? And they was like, yep, and called up Lil Durk and them. No. I hate to laugh, but I'm pretty sure it sounds like what probably happened. You know what I'm saying? Y'all tell me if y'all think I'm wrong in the chat. But man, I do believe that all that checking in stuff can only backfire on you. I don't think there's any positives in that or doing that. Because to be real, you're putting yourself in a vulnerable situation off the rip. You know what I mean? Now, the story continues by saying this. They said the indictment also stated that Grant allegedly rented the BMWs. Okay, we went over that, a BMW and an Infiniti. That's still weird to me, man. He used those cards. That's going to come back to haunt him. If those cards are really attached to OTF and Lil Durk, it's done. Now, there's a picture, obviously, of the shooters. Photos provided by the U.S. District Court show a group of people allegedly carrying out a murder-for-hire plot outside a gas station in Los Angeles. So let's stop right there for a second with the story, and let's actually play a video of what happened when this hit got carried out, man. So let's...
And a wild scene here is invested.
Ooh, here you guys go. I want to bring this up for you. And this is the exact story, you know?
And a wild scene here as investigators say the apparent target of this deadly gunfire, a rapper from the Atlanta area. They say a pretty well-known rapper, too, in this area, along with a second person in his black Cadillac Escalade. May have been a relative, may have been a member of his entourage. We don't know, but it's that second person, not the rapper, but the second person who was hit by gunfire, dies from the gunfire. Let's get right into it. Mike, you'll give you a look. The gas station here, this is right across the street from the busy Beverly Center on La Cienega. See all that broken glass there? That's where the Escalade is parked. They're getting gas when all of a sudden the windows are blown out by gunfire. They're under attack by bullets flying all over the place. To the left, Mike, you'll give you a look. See all those white evidence markers on the ground? Each one of those is by a shell casing. Gives you an idea how many rounds are fired. Police say in that alleyway, the white vehicle pulls up. 3 men get out, and they start firing at will, blasting away, targeting that black SUV, the rapper, and his second person inside. Up top, Sky Fox, a better look at this area so you can imagine the chaos here. It's right across the street, catty corner from the busy Beverly Center. And a wild scene here.
Now, that story right there was the result of what we see right here on the screen right here. This situation right here. So that was the result of all that shooting that took place, the shell cases and whatnot. You know what I mean? So that's where we are with it in the story as far as how the shooting had been carried out, right? So next, it goes on to show this photo right here. Now, I want to blow this one up. Says photos provided by the U.S. District Attorney show a group of people allegedly carrying out murder for hire plot outside a gas station in Los Angeles in 2022. And you see that Escalade right there on the left-hand side. That's allegedly the car that Quando Rondo was riding around in, and they pulled up from the alleyway. So they pulled in the alley, and then they just started to dump it, man. Craziness. Now, the plot came to, the story goes on to say the plot came to a head when Bowman stopped at a gas station along Beverly Boulevard. Prosecutors said that is when Houston allegedly, so okay, they've updated this. So now the indictment has brought more clues unless you know exactly who did what according to what the testimony is. So if they know these intricate details, I gotta say this,
Bruh.
If they know these intricate details, like who drove, who dropped who off, what was done in the car, or whatnot, somebody is definitely telling, bruh. I wonder to hit my alarm, man, instead of my horn, but y'all get the message, man. If they know the details about who was driving and who dropped who off, which side of the car they was on or whatever, and they all masked up and stuff, they can only get that information from an informant. They can only get that information from somebody talking. There's no way to know that. But you know what I mean? They could assume who was driving or a group of people were driving or whatnot, but to know the exact details of who got dropped off or who was driving or whatnot, there is no way they know that without an informant's help. There is no way they know that without a snitch. You know what I mean? Which is crazy, man. Let me look in the chat real quick and see if anybody said anything. And don't be afraid, man. Go ahead and shout out your city in the chat. Go out, man. Say whatever you want. There's only a few of us in here, man. Say what you want in the chat, man. We up in here, you know. But man, like in the story, they basically know like the intricate details of what took place as far as who was driving and things like that, which should be a red flag for Durk and his team if they're worried about this. And they should be worried about this because obviously he's in handcuffs. Now, once again, the plot came to a head when Bowman stopped at a gas station along Beverly Boulevard. Prosecutors said that's when Houston allegedly drove to an alley behind the gas station, so they knew Houston was a driver, red flag, behind the gas station before letting Jones, Lindsay, and an unidentified co-conspirator out to carry out the shooting. Why is the other person unidentified? That's another red flag, too. See, they named Jones and Lindsay and an unidentified co-conspirator out to carry out the shooting. They're hiding that person's name for a reason. I'm not saying that they telling, but that third person who was the other shooter that was let out by Houston and jumped out with Jones and Lindsay, they're hiding their name for some reason in the indictment. But let's go. Now, Bowman and his sister were not injured in the shooting, but Robinson was fatally wounded. Now, Robinson is Lil Pab. And Lil Pab is actually Quando Rondo's cousin, which is crazy, bro.
Bruh.
According to the indictment following the shooting, the defendants and the co-conspirators went to a hamburger restaurant where they discussed payment. So it looks like they went to a hamburger spot, probably one of them outdoor. You know how in California, a lot of the hamburger spots, there is no indoors. You go outdoors to eat it and all that. And they went there to probably, discuss how much they're going to get paid. Now, it says that they were being paid in cash and in getting a record deal. So, I heard of people dying to get a record deal. These cats is out here killing to get a record deal. I'm sorry. I got a dark sense of humor, I think, man. Let me stop. But you got to admit, this is crazy, man. This is insane. All right. Now, the story ends by saying this. Prosecutors said that on the same day as the shooting, an unnamed co-conspirator used an OTF-associated credit card to purchase the plane tickets for Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston to travel back to Chicago. So the unknown associate or the unnamed conspirator used the OTF-associated credit card. Now, what qualifies as an OTF-associated credit card? Like, is it under an OTF business? Is it a Lil Durk credit card? Like, what makes it that, man? That could be something that the snitch is just telling the authorities to help their story. Like, oh, and these cards that we use, they're associated with an OTF. Maybe they do have cards that they have for random hits and stuff like that, which is wild. I don't know how you write that off on your taxes and your business accounts and things like that, but, it is what it is. Let me stop, bro. Let me stop. But, man, let's go ahead and let's leave that story where it's at in yesterday's news. And we're going to bring up the story that we're at today, okay? Which is Lil Durk, man. And it ain't looking good, man. I'll say that much. Let me bring down a little Durk. Mighty shot.
Rapper Lil Durk, well, he's been arrested, and he's now with Broward being arrested for charge. Indicate thanks to being official's office. We are still working to get answers on the details surrounding this arrest, but what we do know is that it comes hours after the LA District Attorney unsealed an indictment bringing federal charges and a murder-for-hire plot against 5 people who have ties to the hip-hop group Only the Family, which was actually formed by Lil Durk. Rapper Lil Durk, well, he's been arrested, and he's now waking up inside the Broward County Jail after being arrested on a murder-for-hire charge. BSO records indicate that Durk Banks is being held at the jail for the U.S. Marshal.
All right, so y'all get the gist of it, man. Lil Durk is locked up, and he won't be getting out for a while, man. This is crazy. He about to spend, based on it, man, unless they come with something quick to bond him out, he's going to end up spending the holidays in jail. Because remember how it went with Young Thug and them, man. They was doing, and that was on the state level. It took them for a while before they could even tell them that their bond was denied. And he's got to go to California. He's got to be extradited to California. Then they got to run him through the system, just like these other cats. I don't know, man. Y'all tell me in the chat. Y'all think, man, it looks like it's over, bro. It looks like he's done. Somebody in the chat, AHB, says, these guys were comfortable. Going out to eat right after killing someone to discuss payment is wild. Yeah, that's pretty wild. I ain't gonna lie about that, man. Saying, yo, man, putting the plan or the hit in motion and then going to grab something to eat is pretty crazy. I can't deny that, man. Because you basically just ended somebody's life and then you went and got you a burger is what it chops up to be, man. So yeah, very good point, man. This is, let's be completely honest, all this mess is crazy. Yeah, on the music, it sounds pretty cool. Yeah, especially when you listen to drill music, it gets you amped up or whatnot, and the lyrics hit hard. But right now, people are going back and decoding all of Lil Durk's references to OTF DD, references to everybody else in OTF who have been thrown into this case or have already been arrested. So you have OTF DD, you have OTF Vonnie, and then you've got other names like this guy by the name of what's my guy? OTF Boogie. You know what I mean? Then you have these other 2 guys. So what? Let's go there, man. OTF DD, man. Let's talk about this real quick, man. Because there's a lot being said about OTF DD, man. Now, DeAndre Wilson, a.k.a. OTF Didi, is actually a decent rapper in his own right? So OTF Didi was one of the main people who was mentioned in the case. He was one of the main people whose name was implicated in this case, and he's one of the only people I can see in the case who has legit music videos and rap music videos and things that he had put out, under OTF, and he's very active on social media as well. His name, even on social media, is OTF Didi. So, there's no mistaking it, man. So a lot of people are already, based on the indictment, putting two and two together and saying that he was one of the guys who reaped the benefits from this shooting. He was one of the guys who ended up getting a record deal because of it. Because remember, in the indictment, they said they were paid with cash and promises of a lucrative record contract, which is an interesting way to cover up or pay for a hit. But if you're an aspiring rapper and you a street dude, I guess all of those things, all those things align, man. Now, what trips me out is, if we go back to the part where it talks about the plot or the murder plot, OTF Didi's real name is DeAndre Wilson, right? OTF Didi is not mentioned in the part of the indictment where they talk about carrying out the hit, unless I'm mistaken. So let's go back and read that. It says the plot came to a head when Bowman stopped at a gas station along Beverly Boulevard. Prosecutors said that is when Houston allegedly drove to an alley behind the gas station before letting out Jones, Lindsay, and an unidentified co-conspirator out to carry out the shooting. None of those people are hold on. Am I tripping? Yeah, Jones, Lindsay, and an unidentified co-conspirator. I mean, you might could say the unidentified co-conspirator is OTF Didi, but he's already mentioned in the indictment, so they wouldn't have to mask his name and call him an unidentified co-conspirator, as well as the other people who are named in the indictment. They wouldn't have to mask anything or cover anything up because they're already named. So whoever the unidentified co-conspirator is, I don't know. That's not a good thing. You know what I'm saying?
Bruh.
That just seems like a person who they're covering up for a reason. But OTF Didi was not mentioned in that at all, And at no point does it even talk about where his involvement was according to this news story. So let's do something, man. While we're talking about OTF Didi, what I want to do is just see. As alleged in counts. Okay, here we go. We might have some. As alleged in counts 1 and 2, after learning of TB's location, defendants Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston and co-conspirator 2 traveled from Chicago, Illinois to Los Angeles, California for the purpose of murdering TB. So TB is a short abbreviation for Quando Rondo's real name. On that same day, August 18th, 2022, the defendant Grant also traveled by private jet to Los Angeles. Now, how does Grant have money for a private jet is what I'm wondering. Like, at what point? Now, we'll get to that in a second. Now, it continues by saying, as alleged in counts 1 and 2, on August 19th, 2022, defendants Grant, Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston and co-conspirator 2 used 2 vehicles to track, stalk, and attempt to kill TB by gunfire, including a fully automatic firearm, resulting in the death of SR. So that's a little pab. Also, I want to see. So they're saying he was involved. See, the news story missed that. They're saying he was actually involved in the tracking down of Lil Pab and Quando Rondo and whatnot. You know what I mean? So he's facing all these charges. I just didn't see where he was a shooter in the situation. But in his own right, OTF Didi is a rapper. You know what I mean? And he's got some decent songs out there. And a lot of people are going back and they're starting to decode a lot of the lyrics and things right now, which is kind of interesting seeing that play out on social media. But it looks like there were several references between him and Lil Durk that can be interpreted as being a part of this hit. You know what I mean? That's crazy, man. Now, also, man, on the 18th, man, they got these cats text messages. Don't book no flights under no names involved with me. Co-conspirator 1 texted co-conspirator 3. Crazy. Now, I'm going to bring this up for you guys so you guys can see what I'm looking at. And take this off of Didi for a second. But in the indictment, they show they have the text messages between co-conspirator 1 and everybody else who was involved in the situation. So it looks like on the 18th, they're having all this communication. Now, people have gone on to say that co-conspirator 1 is Lil Durk. That's what the people are saying. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but Lil Durk is actually the one who's locked up right now. So it says, on August 18th, 2022, co-conspirator 1 texted co-conspirator 3, "Don't book no flights under no names involved with me." So basically letting it be known, like, hey, man, anything that has to do with this or anybody who's involved with me or close to me, don't book no flights under their names. Now, in overt act number 7, on August 18th, 2022, using a credit card ending in 2039, OTF credit card 1, co-conspirator 3 purchased airplane tickets for defendants Wilson, so that's OTF Didi, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, and co-conspirator 2 to travel from Chicago, Illinois to San Diego, California that same day. So flew them out just to carry out the hit on that same day. Now, on August 18th, 2022, co-conspirator 3 confirmed to defendant Wilson via text messages that defendants, so he's reaching out, co-conspirator 3 is reaching out to OTF Didi and letting them know via text messages that the defendants Wilson, Jones, and Lindsay had the same airline ticket confirmation. So letting it be known that they confirmed their flights. Now, also on the 18th, defendant Wilson, a.k.a. I'm just saying OTF Didi, messaged a friend on Instagram, "On my way to L.A." Now, that was dumb. That was stupid. Oh, man.
Bruh.
So he messaged somebody on Instagram, "On my way to L.A." when he's on his way to L.A. to carry out a hit. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. Is dude serious? Did y'all just catch that? So basically, dude is on his way to carry out a hit and then told somebody on Instagram, "Hey, I'm on my way to L.A." Dog, you don't want people even know you're in L.A. You don't want nobody to be able to say, "Hey, dog, you was in L.A. that one day when the shooting took place. And ain't you cool with Lil Durk? Aren't you OTF? Your name is OTF Didi, right?" Like, what in the world, dog? This is some goof troop stuff, man. I always assume that dudes are smarter or slicker than they see, especially cats who've been rapping about it, been out here. You ain't never seen them get caught up. You just assume that they're smarter than this. But nah, dog, that's crazy. That is crazy. Dude is legit on his way to carry out a hit, allegedly, in L.A., and then text somebody on Instagram, "I'm on my way to L.A." What the hell? All right, let's continue. Now, in overt act number 10, on August 18th, 2022, defendant Houston texts co-conspirator 3 on got cleared. I'm 15 minutes away from the airport. Okay, on. Letting them know it's on, I'm assuming. Got clear, so meaning that he went through clear, or either him going through the airport, he's clear. I'm 15 minutes away from the airport. Oh, no, meaning he's clear to go. And he's 15 minutes away from the airport. They're communicating all this over text. Now, overt act number 11, on August 18th, 2022, defendants Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, and co-conspirator 2 flew from Chicago, Illinois to San Diego via the airplane tickets procured by conspirator number 3 using OTF credit card number 1. So they're logging this already as OTF credit card number 1. I want to, man, for Durk's sake, I want to know how they're attaching that credit card to OTF. How do they know that's credit? It better say OTF business account on that card, man, because if it's just some random person with a card, how do you know that they're not lying? Especially if it's an informant or whatever. How do you know they're not just putting those pieces together to make the story good so they get out of whatever they're getting out of? You know what I mean? I don't know. Y'all tell me, what do y'all think? And I seen somebody just left a message in the chat. They said OTF Didi was the same guy the ops kidnapped and made him perform what? That was on her. Whoa. Yo, HB, I appreciate you providing that info, man. But I got to get that one out of here, dog. I had to remove that message. That's crazy if that happened to him. And hey, if you're in here right now, make sure you hit that like button. And for everybody who did, I appreciate you. Nah, HB, I'm sorry I had to get rid of that comment, but that was too wild, man. So he really got kidnapped by the ops, and then they made him do some crazy stuff. That is wild, man. I did not hear that story, man. I'm not saying it's true. That's all alleged. That's just what somebody, he said, my fault. Yeah, next time you got to clean it up, bro. Ain't no problem. You just got to clean it up, man. That is a crazy story, man. I'm hoping he didn't go through that, man. Now, let's continue with this indictment, man. Now, defendant Grant purchased the 4 black ski masks from a sporting goods store in Los Angeles. Another bad move. If they flew into San Diego, why didn't they just buy them there? Whatever. Los Angeles County using cash. Smart move. Then it goes on to say, overt act number 14. So these are all the acts that they're saying is in commission of the crime. On August 18th, 2022, using a credit card ended in 1015, OTF credit card number 2, defendant Grant rented a hotel room for the co-conspirators located in Los Angeles, California, the University City Hotel. So there's 2 credit cards so far that they're considering the OTF credit cards, 1 and 2, right? And they're basically attaching that. Well, they attached this one to the buying of the hotels. So their thinking is probably like, yo, bro, we're going to use separate credit cards for different things. And for everything else, we're going to use cash. I mean, okay. But those credit cards are electronic, and that's always going to leave a record, man. Why not? I guess, man, well, a hotel nowadays, in order to get a hotel, you got to have a card or some sort of card or something, you know? So that's a hard one to get over. Now, it also says that on August 18th, 2022, in or around Los Angeles, California, defendant Grant met with the co-conspirators and provided defendants Jones, Lindsay, and conspirator 2 with firearms, including a firearm that had been modified to operate as a fully automatic machine gun to kill Quando Rondo. You know what I'm saying? TB, who's Quando Rondo. On August 18th, 2022, defendant Grant provided 2 cars for defendants Grant, Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, and co-conspirator 2 to use to find, track, and kill Quando Rondo, a white BMW sedan from a rental company in Los Angeles County, and a white Infiniti sedan with a fake license plate. So they put a fake license plate on each one of the cars, probably trying to prevent getting tracked. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's license trackers everywhere. There's license trackers on, like, if you read the indictment with the Young and Ace case, there's license trackers on those, those work trucks, those like white work trucks that drive around or whatever. There's license trackers on those. That could all be pulled. Most Teslas, you know what I'm saying? Like, the videos can be pulled off of those. It's like, bruh, it's not easy to commit a crime today.
Bruh.
If you're trying to get away with crime in these days, you got an uphill battle, bruh. Because it's like, dog, who would think those random work trucks and stuff have cameras on in front of them and they're tracking your license plates as you drive by them or whatever, or if you're parked or whatever, man. It's crazy, man. It's crazy stuff, man.
Bruh.
Now, it goes on to say that on August 19th, using the BMW and Infiniti, defendants Grant, Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, Houston, and co-conspirator 2 traveled to downtown LA hotel where TB, which is Quando Rondo, was staying to find, track, and kill Quando Rondo. You know what I mean? Now, in overt act number 19 on August 19, 2022, using the BMW and Infiniti, defendants Grant, Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, and conspirator 2 followed and tracked Quando Rondo's black Escalade to a marijuana dispensary located on Flower Street in Los Angeles, California. So he went to grab him some weed. So he went to grab him some marijuana, and he stopped by a dispensary. And I guess however they were tracking him, because they keep saying tracking him. So I'm thinking either they're using some sort of tracking device or they tagged his car because somebody told him what car he was in, and they were tracking him that way. You know, they got these Apple AirTags. People use those as tracking devices. They got all sorts of things you can use as a tracking device. It's not that hard anymore to do that. You know what I'm saying? So they were tracking him, and they tracked him to this dispensary. Now, in overt act number 20, on August 19, 2022, using the BMW and Infiniti, defendants Grant, Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, and a co-conspirator 2 followed and tracked Quando Rondo's black Escalade to a clothing store located on Melrose Avenue in West Hollywood, California. The below image shows the BMW and Infiniti following the black Escalade in which Quando Rondo and Lil Pab were passengers. Now, TB is for Quando Rondo, SR is for Lil Pab. They were passengers as the black Escalade traveled towards the clothing store. So, looks like they were going to grab some gear. And as you can see, the white Infiniti, and then you see the white BMW, and they're following closely. These are both of those cars, and they're saying to the right there was this car right here, which is Quando Rondo and Lil Pab in this black Escalade. And you could clearly see them too. You could clearly see the driver or whatnot in there, which is wild. Yeah. Crazy, man. So they were following them that close, and they were on them. Obviously, whatever tracking device they were using was allegedly working. Now, what it sounds like to me when you look at this is OTF Didi must have been one of the drivers. It looks like he was one of the drivers in the case because he's mentioned to be tracking him, to be following him and all that, but it's not. He's not mentioned as one of the people who hopped out and started shooting. It's actually one of the guys who's a co-conspirator. You know what I mean? So it says, using the BMW and Infiniti, defendants Grant, Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, and co-conspirator 2 tracked Quando Rondo's black Escalade to a gas station located on Beverly Boulevard in Los Angeles, California, the Beverly gas station. So, sounds very fancy, the Beverly gas station. But besides the point, on August 19th, 2022, defendant Houston drove the Infiniti to an alley behind the Beverly gas station and parked the vehicle so the defendants Jones and Lindsay and co-conspirator 2 could attempt to murder Quando Rondo. So this whole time, what was, I guess he wasn't the driver because they said that Houston was a driver in one car. Well, there were two cars. So let's see. Let's see. Now, overt act 23, on August 19, 2022, at the Beverly gas station, defendants Jones and Lindsay and co-conspirator 2 used the firearms procured by defendant Grant, including fully automatic firearm. And what I'm thinking is he probably used a switch. He probably put a switch on one of the weapons because clearly you can see that they're firing with handguns. So, you know, and they said that they modified earlier in the indictment, they said that they modified it to be a fully automatic weapon. And, you know, the easiest way to do that is with the switch, which also carries a case. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm pretty sure they haven't located the weapons, and I don't see anything in this where, well, we'll get to that. But it seems like right now it doesn't say anything about them finding those weapons. But they know that one was modified to be an automatic. So they know the little intricate details of everything these cats was doing, man. That's how you know there's an informant. They know exactly who was driving. No, they didn't just come up with that on their own. Somebody had to tell them who was driving in each car and where they were sitting in each car. That's not a guessing game. That's not something you could just do by, you know, by uncovering these little details and not looking. Well, maybe if you have exact camera angles and you can point out who exactly everybody is. But at this point, they're already wearing the ski mask. They're already wearing everything. So there's no way you know exactly who's driving, who's sitting where without there being an informant to give you that information. So it's going to be interesting to find out who the informant really is in this situation too. HB, you good, man? You ain't got to retract your messages, man. You good. Yeah, hold up, y'all. There you go. You good, bro? Yeah, you good. Keep dropping that knowledge, man. Just watch the language, man. Because that story was crazy, bro. That story was crazy. Yo, but that adds some context, you know what I'm saying? He really hate the ops now, you know what I mean? Like, All right, so back to the indictment. So at the Beverly gas station, defendants Jones, Lindsay, and co-conspirator 2 used the firearms procured by defendant Grant, including the fully automatic firearm, to shoot at Quando Rondo's car, striking and killing Lil Pab, who was standing next to Quando Rondo's car while Quando Rondo was inside. So Quando Rondo was inside the car. Lil Pab is standing outside of the car and ended up being the one who got shot and got struck. You know what I mean? Which is crazy, bruh. So Quando Rondo being in the car is what probably saved his life. Lil Pab was standing outside, and they shooting a fully automatic, a switch, and then the other guys shooting, at all crazy. They're going to hit something. Just by chance, they're going to hit something. And it ended up being Lil Pab, man. You know what I'm saying? Crazy, man. Crazy. And he wasn't even the intended target. But at that point, when they playing those games, you already know, man, it's anything goes, man. It's anybody goes, man. Y'all do me a favor, man. Hit that like button too, man. And for those who have, you the real MVP. Go ahead and hit that like button. But let's continue. So Lil Pab is standing outside of the car, and he's the one who ended up getting killed. So Quando Rondo is inside of the car, and that's probably what saved his life. I'm not sure if the car was bulletproof or not. The images below show defendants Jones, Lindsay, and co-conspirator 2 firing their guns at Quando Rondo's black Escalade. So there you got the Escalade, and they're saying this right here is Jones and Lindsay. You know what I mean? And right there. So Jones, hold up. Let me see something real quick. Jones and Lindsay. So Diddy. Jones is Flocka. Lindsay is Brown Eyes. Now this is crazy. And we're going to get to this in a second, man. Okay, so, man, so, okay. Making sense. Making sense of it. All the pieces are coming together. Now what's crazy is Jones and Lindsay are from a totally different gang than some of the other guys who were mentioned, like OTF Didi and those cats, man. Like, they're from a totally different gang. Squid Ape dropped something today and talked about, well, that showed who they are. You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy, man, because a lot of people were surprised by who these guys are, Jones and Lindsay. You know what I mean? And who they are on the streets, you know? One's named Flocka and the other's named Brown Eyes or something like that. And I hate to call him Brown Eyes, but that's how I read it. You know what I mean? And co-conspirator 2. I wonder who co-conspirator 2 is, because his name is covered up as co-conspirator 2 all throughout this indictment. And we know that co-conspirator 2 is not Lil Durk. You know what I'm saying? Lil Durk was not out there in the streets pulling triggers and shooting it up. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said, free Durkio, man. Hopefully, man. Hopefully he had nothing to do with it. Somebody else said, that's known facts that killers go to eat after murder, though. That's not new or that crazy. That is true, man. I mean, even since the 90s, you've always seen, man, after a shooting, cats will always, man, they'll always sometimes get caught up grabbing something to eat afterwards. You know what I mean? So that way, they usually grab something to eat, go back. Yeah, I guess so, man. So you got a point. That is well known. I mean, that's not like it's uncommon. But for somebody who goes to work every day, just a rational citizen who does their job, whatever, going and killing somebody and then going to get something to eat sounds pretty savage. You know what I'm saying? That sounds pretty crazy to your regular, normal person, bro. Now, the images below show Lindsay and Jones, and we'll get to them later, and co-conspirator 2 firing their guns at Quando Rondo's Escalade. So there you have that picture, and then here's the second image where it shows them shooting. Ski masked up, right there. Ski masked up, and just dumping, you know what I mean? And they ended up hitting Lil Pab because Lil Pab was actually, according to the indictment, standing outside of the car. I wonder if he was in the car, would that have saved his life? You know, because a lot of people clown Quando Rondo and them for even stopping at a gas station and taking so much time at a gas station while they're in a war, while they're deep. Like at this time, they're still dissing Lil Durk and stuff. Like it's still dissing going back and forth. Like people dropping songs, like it was still up. You know what I'm saying? Like they were dissing each other back and forth. and talking about these murders that had just taken place. And Lil Tim, I think, had just came home. So it was a crazy situation, man. So for them to be so lackluster, I think they thought if they checked into the set, they'd be okay. Fooled you. You know what I mean? All right, that's why all that checking in stuff, bro, when they used to talk all that, and even when a rapper that shall not be named used to be on his tangent, I agreed with him. I ain't checking in nowhere, bro. I don't care, because who's to say you ain't gonna backdoor me? This might be the setup for you to rob me in the end or to get money out of me. No, I'm not doing that. Get out of here with that. Forget all that checking in stuff. That's what you gotta be out of your mind to put that much trust in somebody else. I don't even want y'all to know I'm here. I don't want you to know I'm in the city or nothing, man. Forget that. You know what I mean? But let's get back to the case. Now, on August 19th, 2022, in the Infinity driven by Houston, defendants, now Houston is Boogie. He's OTF Boogie, right? Defendants Jones and Lindsay and co-conspirator 2 fled the alley behind the Beverly gas station after the conspirators shot and killed Lil Pab. Remember, Lil Pab is SR when you see that in the indictment, right? Yeah, I go, man, I don't go live much. I only go live on YouTube every once in a while on this channel. And then, I bust it down in the clips, later on. But yeah, this is where I go live, man. That's real. My bad, I'm answering the chat for those who don't know, man. Hell yeah, checking in, just being extorted. Yep. Dan Zilla or something like that. He said, gotta respect that he stood on his stuff and got back for his homie, though. Somebody else said, same cat, Dan Killer says, hell yeah, checking in, just being extorted, man. And as y'all check it, yeah, checking in is definitely just being extorted, bro. I don't trust that, man. I wouldn't trust that. Nobody should trust that, bro. Ain't no way in the world anybody else gonna look out for your benefit more than you. If you're that worried about where you're going or where you're traveling, checking in with a criminal organization just doesn't seem like the likely answer. You know what I mean? Now back to the indictment, man. But I appreciate y'all shouting out in the chat. And everybody, make sure you shout out your city and make sure you hit that like button. And for those who already have, you already know what it is. Now, on August 19th, 2022, in the Infinity driven by defendant Houston, defendants Jones, Lindsay, and co-conspirator 2 fled the alleyway. Okay, we said that. Now, on August 19th also, defendants Grant, Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, and co-conspirator 2 traveled to a hamburger restaurant in Los Angeles County, where the co-conspirators discussed, among other things, payments to defendants Jones and Lindsay for the shooting earlier that day. Now, you might be asking, why in the world would they just single out making payments to Jones and Lindsay? Well, Jones and Lindsay are allegedly from a different gang who had no part in any part of any beefs that they have. Like no affiliations or any parts to any beef that OTF had or was in. You know what I'm saying? They're almost hired as outside shooters in this situation, according to the rumors and according to what we could deduce from this indictment, as we read through it. Now, in overt act number 26, on August 19th, 2022, using OTF credit card number 1, co-conspirator 3 purchased airline tickets from San Diego, California to Chicago, Illinois for defendants Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, and co-conspirator 2. So for everybody, he pretty much cleared the house and got everybody back to Chicago. But instead of flying them out of LA, flew them out of San Diego. So they probably traveled by car, turned in the rental cars, travel some other way to San Diego so that way they could fly back out. Now on August 19th, defendant Wilson is actually OTF Didi, Jones, Lindsay, Houston, and co-conspirator 2 flew back to Chicago, Illinois from San Diego. Thought they already put that in there. Now following SR's murder, defendant Wilson paid defendants Jones and Lindsay on behalf of a co-conspirator for their role in the murder. So let's get to that. Let's unpack that co-conspirator who's paying for everything. The streets are saying that's Lil Durk. Now, I'm not saying it. Now, I'm not saying it's Lil Durk, but the streets are saying that's Lil Durk, man. They're saying that's why he's pulled into this indictment, because co-conspirator number 1 is obviously the one calling boss moves, calling the shots, man. Hey, man, y'all do me a favor, man. Get the likes up, man. Get the likes up, man. Everybody in here, hit that like button, man. Go ahead, hit that like button. Let's run them up, man. Let's go. Let's go, man. Let's act like we gonna do it.
Bruh.
But regardless, man, yeah, so for the co-conspirator number one, the person that they're saying is calling all these shots, people are saying that that might be Lil Durk, or is accused to be Lil Durk. I'm not saying it is Lil Durk, and I have no clue that it is Lil Durk. Now, beginning on a date unknown, but no later than, or now this is count 2. Now, this count right here, count 2. Let me see. Is what charge is this? This looks like the charge of murder or whatever, or excuse me, of murder. You know what I mean? I want to make sure I ain't mixing my counts up. Okay. Now, beginning on a date unknown, but no later than on or around August 18th, 2022, and continue to on or about August 19th, 2022. So this only took place those 2 days. All this plan went into action in 24 hours, basically. You know what I mean? They had jumped on a plane, went to California, and one guy went from Miami and then went back to Chicago. They all went back to Chicago, though, that same, like within the next 24 hours, which is crazy. In Los Angeles County, within the Central District of California, and elsewhere, defendants Kayvon London Grant, also known a.k.a. Cuz, a.k.a. Vonnie, a.k.a. OTF Vonnie, DeAndre Dontrell Wilson, a.k.a. OTF Didi, Keith Jones, a.k.a. Flocka, David Brian Lindsay, a.k.a. Brown Eyes, and Isaac Houston, a.k.a. OTF Boogie. And co-conspirators known and unknown, each aiding and abetting the other, knowingly used facilities of interstate and foreign commerce, namely airplanes, cars, cell phones, and internet, and with the intent to murder TB, which is Quando Rondo, be committed in the violation of the laws of any state, namely the state of California, as consideration for the receipt of and consideration for a promise and agreement to pay anything of pecuniary value, namely money and lucrative music opportunities with OTF, resulting in the death of Lil Pab. You know what I mean? Interesting. Count 3, more of the same. This time they just mentioned that they had a machine gun, you know what I mean? And then count 4. Okay, namely a 10 millimeter caliber firearm equipped with an auto sear conversion device, which was designed and intended solely. Okay, so count 4 is just talking about how they made the gun a machine gun using a switch. Forfeiture allegation 1. Shall forfeit, blah, blah, blah. I think we ran through the good stuff, man. Now, what got us here, man? So what got us here was we're talking about OTF Didi, right? So let's get back on track. And then we started to go through the indictment and talk about some of the things related to OTF Didi. But, man, I want to bring up another thing that was mentioned throughout this indictment as we were talking about it. And that's OTF Didi right there. We're going to bring him down real quick. And I want to talk about these two guys right here. Now, you can see this post from Squid Ape. It was early this morning, right? And everybody was putting together all the information, getting everything together about what was going on in this case because it's interesting. Everybody was going through reading the indictment, kind of like how we went through half the indictment right now. But these names popped up. You see the guy by the name of Flocka. Now, Flocka is Keith Jones, right? And you see this other guy, Brown Eyes. Now, that's an interesting name, but then you see his picture, pause,
Bruh.
and you kind of get the name. Pause. David Brian Lindsay, right? Now, these two guys are allegedly a part of TBG Lil 4 Mob, both of them, and are also charged with the murder of Lil Pab. So these are are listed as two of the main shooters in the case. Now, in no way do I think they were paid off by any type of lucrative record deal or anything like that. But TBG has been rumored to be into an ongoing beef with another big rap crew in the game. And it's shocking a lot of people that these guys are being tied to this case because, you know, they haven't been out here doing any type of bragging. And maybe that's because they were two of the shooters allegedly on the ground. But this is turning a lot of Chicago people up because of who they are and who they're associated with, man. And it seems like they, you know, when co-conspirator 1 in the indictment was like, hey, man, don't pay for anybody who's associated with me or around me. When he said that, and I don't know how they knew, well, they had the text message of him saying that to co-conspirator 2 or co-conspirator 3, when he said, don't buy no tickets for anybody who's associated with me or around me, this is what he meant, man. These cats right here. So these are the two other cats whose mugshots haven't gone viral yet, but were also arrested in Chicago as well. And they're from a whole different gang or whatnot, man, which is crazy, man. Or a whole different set, I should say, which is crazy, man. And it's got a lot of people tripping, you know? Somebody said Fredo Bang sent his shooters with Durk. Wow. This is crazy, man. It's some crazy stuff. Now, I don't know if I think they're a different TBG, like TBG that's into it with like PBG or PGB or one of them. I'm trying to remember, man. It's so many different acronyms for all these different names, man. But let me see. Hold up. But these cats, man, are actually, yeah, the other two who were listed in the indictment, man. Yeah. So let's do this. I want to look something up real quick. So what's wild is these cats were actually paid in cash, according to everybody else in the indictment. And yeah, man, so these guys are said to be vice lords, you know what I'm saying? Which is interesting, you know? And they were said to be recruited by OTF Didi for the murder of Quando Rondo and ended up, you know what I'm saying? Ended up murdering Lil Pab. And, you know, obviously, you know, OTF Boogie, Isaac Houston was the driver, alleged driver, while OTF Vonnie allegedly paid for the guns, the cars, and the planes. Well, the plane tickets were paid by somebody else. The plane tickets were actually paid by an unknown conspirator, a conspirator number 3. That person, if you notice, every time conspirator 3 was mentioned in the indictment, it was to pay for the plane tickets. I think that was their only role in the situation. Like they actually, because conspirator 2 was co-conspirator 2 was a shooter, and for some reason their name is being hidden. So I don't know if they're the person who's snitching maybe or anything like that. But yeah, man, this is crazy, man. Craziness. But yes, so yeah, I had to look. But I mean, according to everything I see or the rumors out there, like those cats are like from a whole nother situation. They got a whole nother beef. They got a whole nother thing going on, man. To where, you know, they're at it with somebody totally different and were just hired as outside shooters. Maybe someday Lil Durk was gonna put them on and rap or something like that. But when they discussed payment, when they went to that restaurant, it was probably they were just cashed out for that situation. So that way they could try to clean their hands and close their ties. But eventually, when it comes to the long arm of the law, and especially the feds, bruh, they coming. You know what I'm saying? They coming, bruh. Ain't nothing you could go against that, you know? Or ain't no way you could beat that, I should say. Yeah, this is crazy, man. Yo, Pierre Nelson, I see you, man. This is pretty mind-boggling, man. Now, with that being said, man, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, man. We got about 57, 56 people in here. Go ahead. Everybody hit that like button. It makes a big difference, man. And for those who already did, somebody said, Brown Eyes got to be the funniest street name I heard all week. Yeah, I had to say pause every time I said his alias, man. But I don't want no problems with him because, you know, obviously he's some type of stepper, dog. Like, dude is really about that business. Because, you know, if you notice in the indictment, when it came to him, he's one of these guys right here. Let's pull this up. Or in the indictment, he's one of these guys. Because when it came to him, Lindsay and Jones, they said the images below show defendants Lindsay and Jones and co-conspirator number 2. Co-conspirator number 2, his name isn't even listed in here. You know what I mean? That'll probably come out later when we look at more of the indictment against Lil Durk. But Jones and Lindsay, that's Jones and Lindsay. You know what I'm saying? That's those two right there. And another person, you know what I mean? They're the ones who actually were shooting at the car. So the people that they allegedly hired to carry out the hit were cats who weren't even OTF, weren't even close to the whole BD, GD war that we've seen or the whole 63rd thing. Nobody even closely tied to that at all. Cats with their own beef and own war going on with some totally different people and allegedly some vice lords and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? According to people online. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that it's factual, but I mean, that's what's being said out there in these YouTube streets, which is crazy, man. So it looked like they was trying to do some things to cover their tracks. It's just that, man, when you out here playing with the feds, man, they got unlimited resources. They gonna find what's up, you know what I mean? And don't be shy, man. Go ahead, drop a comment, man. Shout out your city. Do whatever you got to do, man, in the chat. And as I'm going through everything, man, I would definitely read it. You know what I'm saying? We got all day. So, okay. We established that Jones and Lindsay are alleged to be these people who are actually shooting and killed Lil Pap. And they are alleged to be these two guys right here, who is Flocka from TBG Lil 4 Mob and Brown Eyes, pause, TBG Lil 4 Mob. You know what I mean? So they're the alleged shooters in this situation. They're the ones who allegedly took Lil Pab's life. These two cats right here. Everybody else played like a support role in this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? You know, everybody else is pretty much support. And they were the ones who carried out the hit. Crazy. Crazy stuff, man. I'm hoping, man. You just heard me knocking on wood. I'm hoping Lil Durk ain't have nothing to do with this like they saying, bro. Come on, man. You go through all this. Dog, there was a time in Lil Durk's career where he didn't know how his rap career was going to go. Then he went to the level of being a humongous star in the rap game. And now you're going to be brought back down to zero? Because when you go to prison, you go to zero, man. There ain't no way. I know what they say about the feds. You know, you find ways. Nah, man. There just ain't no way of fighting a Fed case going, and Boosie talked about this, going to prison and coming back on top. Unless you beat Big Meech or something, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if Big Meech even came back on top, you know? Most people come back out of prison back at zero, man. Good thing about Lil Durk, this is the bad thing. If found guilty, I don't know what kind of plea they're going to be offering these cats, because the death penalty is the highest level of punishment for murder for hire. Yeah.
Bruh.
I'm going to say that again. The death penalty. Like, yo, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Like, calling all cards. Do you hear me? You'll be sentenced to death. You'll have to do your time on death row in the back and the stuff. Dog. And I heard that's some hard time. All right, somebody who ain't afraid. Somebody said Whack 100 was trying to act like everyone thought this was Armenians or something. But I feel like everyone knew right away this was Vaughn related. Durk was self-snitching immediately. Yeah, man. Okay, let's talk about it. So Lil Durk's lyrics are starting to be combed through. And he's got a song where in the lyrics he's like, go. We got the location. Go. We know he's in Cali. Go. We got the car. Go. And just said go. And then he said, and then after the hit, he's hollering, no. And everybody remembers that scene where Quando Rondo was out there in the middle of the street hollering no after Lil Pab had got shot and killed, man. So, yeah. I think, man, yeah, if you consider raps snitching, yeah. Free Durk, Curtis Carter said. Free Durk. Somebody said laughing. Probably I be joking, so I can't. The industry brought Durk down because he wanted to change his image. They paid these dudes to snitch on him. Whoever Conspirator 2 is, I don't know. Somebody is snitching. And we're going to get to that. What up here, Nelson? Exactly, Curtis. Yep. Durk not guilty. They went and did that and put Durk name on it. That would be a crazy setup. Now, talk about your conspiracies of all conspiracies. You're saying that they carried out the hit in order to set Durk up in the back end and have some dirt over his head. And once he changed out his image and started going positive, they said, forget it, man. You ain't doing what we want you to do, man. We want you to be here to be spreading some of this evil. And now you pushing peace? Get him up out of here.
Bruh.
That's crazy, bro. That is crazy. But, you know, it doesn't surprise me. You know what I mean? Because I don't put anything past the music industry. I'll say that much. You know what I mean? Right. He literally used the recording as an intro. Yeah, he did. He used it on a song. JM says, but free him. But free him. Damn shame. Yeah, free that boy. It's funny how Durk mocked Quando screaming no, but Durk screamed no the same way when Newski was killed. D said that. Now, you got a good point, D. Like, all that mocking people for reacting to somebody dying in their arms or dying in their face, dog, you don't know how you going to react until you have something like that happen to you. Because I know man, you never know, you know? Your emotions get into it, so I can't mock him. Even though at the time when he put it there, it was kind of, you know, how drill rap is. Drill rap is like the dark humor side of rap music too. Because a lot of the jokes, a lot of the memes, a lot of the things in the comment, you know you're not supposed to laugh because it's a serious situation, a serious topic. But sometimes that must be funny, man. I ain't even gonna lie, dog. Facts, D, that's real. So somebody agrees with you, D. HB does. What up, HB? That's cap. They have Durk on wiretap. Now, okay, let's get to that. So a lot of people are saying there was a wiretap. And now that we've talked about these cats right here, let's talk about another name that's being thrown out there, man. So remember these guys. We're going to be talking about them in the future on future broadcasts and stuff. You know, Flocka and Brown Eyes. Pause. I still don't want no problems, man. Dude is a shooter, man, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? According to the indictment. I don't want no problems, you know what I mean? So let's get them out of there. And let's talk about somebody else in the case that's been brought up who was not listed in the indictment at all. So what I'm going to say to clear all this is none of this can be proven. None of this has been proven as anything factual as of yet. But there's a guy by the name of OTF Jam. And there's some rumors being thrown out there about his name. Now, you see it says on that post, I did not make this post. This is taken from social media. I do not believe he is a snitch. I am not alleging that he's a snitch. I am just saying what people are putting on social media and reading. All right, clear. Now, in this post, it says Lil Durk was reportedly snitched on by an OTF member. OTF Jam allegedly wore a wire for a couple of years. Now, that's wild, man, because I saw an interview where OTF Jam was being interviewed, and yes, I do my homework, and I do my research. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to J-Man. But him in the interview, he was talking about the fact that Lil Durk had paid for a crib for him, gave him money, had him all right out there. I think even when Lil Durk was on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, and he had Wallow and Gilly were there, I think he was one of the guys in the background, somebody said. If not, he said that himself. You remember where they was rapping or whatever? It went viral. I mean, it was millions of people that watched that broadcast with Lil Durk on $1 Million Worth of Game with Wallow and Gilly. They're saying he was one of the guys in the background. And they're saying he got picked up last year and was facing 12 years on a charge. Now, I'm not sure. Some people say it's a gun charge. Some people say it's a shooting charge. I'm not sure. But that's the rumor out there that he was facing 12 years. And a lot of people are saying this about him allegedly wearing a wire. One of the people who is adamant about this is a guy from OTF by the name of Lil Twin. So that is a different guy. That's actually somebody else, you know what I'm saying? But he's out here, Lil Twin is out here dissing some of the OTF members or people who are allegedly connected to OTF and outing them and calling them all sorts of things and putting them in this case and saying that they wore wires and everything. So let's actually look at this right here. OTF twin reacts right there. And I want to make that bigger for y'all. So he's saying this dude wore a wire. Now this is from OTF Twins Instagram account. I don't know if this is still up, but it was fresh and new. And he put a rat emoji and put a name right there, which I'm not going to read because I don't know if this dude did that or not. But to insinuate somebody who's wearing a wire, as much as Lil Durk was always around his guys, always around the dudes from his neighborhood, always around the people that he had associated with in the past, him and Von always took care of cats from O Block, always seemed to be taking care of the cats back in, in Lamron and 300 and stuff. Looks like they always looked out for everybody, man. So for somebody to be wearing a wire, this is straight out of the Sopranos, bro.
Bruh.
This reminds me of some big pussy bumping Cero. You know what I'm saying? That was a character in the Sopranos. And what really tripped me out is it made me think of this scene in the Sopranos where there's this guy. He's one of the major hitters. And he's he shoots another guy in a coffee shop. He shoots another guy somewhere else. And he's doing all this wild stuff. And out of nowhere, one day he's walking home after getting into a fight with Tony Soprano, the main character. Don't worry, I'm going to tie it in. He's walking home because he's upset. He wants to get out the game. He wants to move to Florida. And they tell him no. And a car pulls up. And you end up finding out, after all these years of watching this dude on screen doing all this killing and all this drilling and all this stuff, that he was a snitch. That's a cold game, bruh.
Bruh.
That is a cold game, man. You know what I'm saying? To be a rat to that level where and I'm not saying this dude is a rat, but to be a rat on that level where you are wearing a wire, what is the inspiration in that? Now that dude in the show ended up in a horrible way anyway, by his own doing, which is crazy. But that's nasty work. I ain't gonna lie, man. I guess that's why people outside or people in the streets really, really hate snitches and rats so bad, because that's some nasty work. And people are saying this about that dude, man, or people are making these claims about a lot of the guys in OTF right now. And specifically, that guy OTF Jam. Now, I'm not sure if OTF Jam is hearing of any of this, but man, people are throwing his name out here willy-nilly within this situation, man. You can see right here, another guy by the name of THF Blood Brothers. Now, I'm not sure if this is THF Bezu or one of those, or somebody else from THF, but he put this. That's a picture of OTF Jam, and a lot of people were calling him the Juggernaut. A lot of people they were saying that. I wasn't saying that. These dudes are some street dudes. I'm a podcaster and an interviewer. You know what I'm saying? But let me stop. But you see, this guy from THF allegedly, he put this, and he was calling him out of his name too, man. So a lot of people are putting those rumors out that this dude was wearing a wire and is one of the guys who's informing on Lil Durk, or actually throwing Lil Durk under the bus, man, which is crazy, man. And it's getting a lot of reactions. Now, when it comes to him and his situation with OTF Jam, they're saying his motivation is that he was facing a 12-year sentence. Now, what's crazy is, if you're facing a 12-year sentence, and let's say Lil Durk is some kind of boss or something like that, what sense would it make, knowing all the reduced sentence things that they have out here, to put somebody in prison for life that's bringing your whole crew money and you're only facing 12 years?
Bruh.
Like, no, dog, where's my Tyrese meme? I wish I had that queued up. Like, what more do you want from me? I'll say it myself. If I'm Lil Durk, I'm like, hold up. You can't do maybe 2, 3, 4 years off your 12-year sentence, but instead you rather send me to jail for life or to the death penalty?
Bruh.
This a cold game, man. And dude is in an interview talking about, yo, Lil Durk, he looked out for me. He helped me out. He got me money. He did all this stuff for me. That is crazy. I'm hoping this isn't true. And it hasn't been confirmed, but a lot of people on that side of things, like the THFs, the OTF twin, all those people, they think those things about OTF Diddy, and they're voicing it on social media with posts like this. That's why you see so many people putting his mugshot out there, dissing him and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty crazy, to be honest with you, man, because I couldn't see a world where you wouldn't be able to do 12 years, so you're going to send somebody to jail or to prison for life, man. That's, God dang. Shoot, man. I'm glad I ain't no street dude. I'm glad I ain't no street dude, man. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this. I'm gonna get in the chat real quick. Somebody, Jay Hicks, what up, Jay Hicks, says free Durk. Curtis Carter says OTF Jam snitched. I don't know if he snitched or not, man. All right, we picking up. We got 76 people in the house. I like to tell everybody, make sure 77. Go ahead and hit that like button, man. Everybody in here hit that like button. It does wonders, man. Don't be scared of it. It helps your boy out a great deal, man. So make sure you hit that like button. And for those who already have, once again, you the real MVP. All right. So let's go through the chat a little bit. I want to hear what y'all think about OTF Jam and these alleged snitch rumors, right? Durk fed him till he felt he was entitled. And the moment he said no, he turned on me. Come on, he looked like he snitched. He does have a look, man, like I ain't gonna do all this time. He got that look, like I ain't about to do all this time. Y'all said thumbhead. They call him the Juggernaut. Those are jokes. That's what they're saying. I ain't saying that. I know these dudes is killers, man. You know what I mean? How does your cranium even get to looking like y'all cold, man? Y'all going off. Y'all said JM is because the government is corrupt and they all work for the same leader. Just like the rap industry, their boss is the evil man downstairs with the horns and the pitchfork. Curtis Carter, JM, you get a cranium like that when you got to think about what you going to tell him. That's crazy, man. That's why these scumbag people get paid millions to corrupt the youth in black communities, D-Mac says. D-Mac also says, and then get rewarded keys to the city for it. Yeah, that's crazy that Lil Durk got the keys to the city, man. Like, you know, I like Lil Durk, man. I think when I was blogging more, I was doing more promoting for Lil Durk than a little bit, man. It was up. You know what I'm saying? I was really, really out there for him, man. OTF is a bunch of idiots. Now, if you read this indictment, that would seem true. But let's play a little devil's advocate here. Imagine in anything after 2020 trying to successfully plan out some coordinated crime. And I'm not going to say what kind of crime, but imagine that. Dog, it's almost impossible today. Like, what in the world you're not going to get, unless you a part of some major something, you're not getting away with anything today, man. It's going to come to life. They're going to be always, if it's a murder, they're always going to be looking to solve that murder no matter when. It'll be 30, 20 years from now. Case might go cold. They got people who go in and solve cold cases. Now, society can't have you just out here murdering people and them going unsolved. Even though a lot of murders do go unsolved. But I believe even DJ Academics has said this one time. Most of the time it's because a lot of the, if you notice a lot of the Chicago drill rap stories and things, a lot of the people don't know who killed who because there was a lot of killing going on between both sides and there was retaliation for that retaliation. It gets to the point where people just say, all right, man, put it on the guy who passed away, it seems like to me. That's what it seems like to me. Hold up, that's not funny.
Bruh.
But honestly, that's what it seems like, man, because the people who usually really did it in the street, the real street dudes don't want to tell. They don't want to release that information. They usually got shot or they got arrested out of state. They got locked up for life for something else. It just be a lot of stuff. And then they handle it amongst each other behind the bars. You know what I mean? All right, Chris Carter said, that's the snitch section of his brain. Funny. OTF is, okay, read that one. D-Mac also said, no one want to talk about that, though. Talking about, okay, is that a response to what you said about Lil Durk getting the key to the city, even though he, raps drill rap. He raps gangster stuff, you know what I mean? Somebody said he knew one of his homies would be his downfall. Now, I will say this about Lil Durk, man. In his lyrics, Lil Durk did say numerous times that it was going to be one of his homies or somebody close to him or something like that would happen. You know what I mean? He let that be present and clear in his lyrics all the time. So a lot of people had thought that, yo, the guy who's going to sell Lil Durk out, he's seen it come, Lil Durk seen it coming and maybe a maneuver in some way to swerve it. But like, you can't go, it's hard to go through life and not depending on any of your people, especially if you grew up with them. That's why I say being a rat or a snitch to that level, and I'm not saying that dude is, because I don't know that for a fact, because whoever is, they're even covering it up in the indictment. Because as you see in the indictment, one of the guys who was in on the shooting, right here, look at this. One of the guys who was in on the shooting, right here, co-conspirator 2. They don't name him for some reason. And how many times did they mention him in this indictment? Hold up, let's see something. Let's see something. We just gonna test something out. Just a little research, you know what I'm saying? "25 times. Co-conspirator 2 is mentioned 25 times in this indictment, right? And he's mentioned together with AKA Boogie. He's mentioned 25 times in this indictment. In all 18 pages of it. You know what I mean? And not once did I see co-conspirator 2 listed in the list of people who caught charges, which is crazy, right? He seems like a facilitator, like he ran the whole operation. A lot of people were giving credit to OTF Vonnie for saying that he was the one who was running things, but co-conspirator 2, like here, okay, sit down, there you go. Co-conspirator 2, here, he was listed in the fighting, the tracking, and the killing. So he was on the ground level. Then he was listed in one of the people who put it together as far as the planning and the whole operation. So when that name comes out, we really gonna hear something. And man, for Lil Durk's benefit, I'm hoping that's not one of the guys who's actually in on the shooting. You know what I mean? But, excuse me, who's actually informant, I should say. Informant on him is what I meant to say. Because he's one of the shooters. It's listed right there, co-conspirator number 2, firing the guns at TB. So whoever that guy is, he was on the planning level, he was on the ground level, he pretty much orchestrated the whole hit. You know what I mean? But his name is hidden throughout the indictment. So I'm wondering when that comes to light, who that's going to be. We will see. I'm not saying it was this guy either, you know what I mean? But they're saying this guy, you know, he's getting a lot of backlash from a lot of people in OTF or cool with Lil Durk or associated with THF, 600, O Block, and all that, man. They going in on dude right now on most of the blogs and stuff. And I don't know if it's warranted or not, but man, that's what they're saying. So let's see. Let's get back in the chat. Somebody said Brick is next. Now, what's up with that, man? Why does everybody keep saying, because I went live last night when the first arrest happened, and everybody said that Brick Baby was in for it. You know what I'm saying? Like he's going down. And I saw the reaction of him finding out that they caught a Fed charge. But why? Do they think that Brick Baby is the one who dropped the dime on Quando or gave up the info on Quando? Because they're not psychic. They have to find somewhere to put the tracking device, or they have to find somewhere where the tracking device is to follow the car. So that way they can follow Quando Rondo. So that way they can track him down and do the shooting. You know, other than that, it's almost impossible in a city full of millions of people with any limitless places that he could be throughout that city. And Los Angeles isn't just big as far as its population. It's big as far as its landmass, like how large it is land-wise. So you legit had to put a tracking device on the Escalade. You had to follow it down, find it in its location, track it down, and all that. So I'm just wondering, man, who in the world? We'll see, man. We'll see. Well, that was the point. Like, why in the world would, like, are they saying that Brick, they believe that Brick Baby was in on this? Is that what they saying? Y'all tell me. And I see your name, damn homie. And I get the joke too. D-Mac says, yeah, I know I sound crazy. Nah, you don't sound crazy. You're talking about him getting the key to the city and still being a drill rapper. Ain't nothing crazy about that. It's a clear contradiction. Jay Hicks says this the same thing that got Larry Hoover under the jail. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's a whole nother level. It was a federal case, you're correct. And man, once they label you like a federal crime boss like that, yeah, you go to that Supermax or that they call it the Super Duper Max in Colorado, where they send like the bosses of all bosses. That's where everybody is, like the big deal, the real big time, you know what I'm saying, that ain't getting and won't see the light of day. I don't pray that for anybody. You know, that's almost being locked up in that way. Like, have you ever seen the movie Shot Caller? The dude that they call the Beast, how he's locked up, that's how they are in that Colorado, I think Colorado ADX or whatever it's called. Dog, that's inhumane. Dog, no human is supposed to be living like that, to be real with you. You know what I'm saying? So I hope that's not for Lil Durk's future. You know what I'm saying?
Bruh.
But to put your homeboy through all that because you don't want to do 12 years, probably with 3, 4 on good behavior or limited sentence, is crazy, bruh. That is crazy. I couldn't imagine being that disloyal. Now, Jay Hicks says okay, my bad. I got you, Jay Hicks. CH in Stone says, Brick Baby ran his mouth too soon. Clout, the worst drug on earth. You think what he said for clout is going to end up biting him in the rear? People saying Brick rolling 60s dropped the low, saying he was false claiming 60. But Quadrando had been claiming 60 since he was in the rap game, since before all this beef and everything. So what in the world? Like, that wouldn't even be Brick Baby's business. Like, if he was claiming 60 out of Savannah, if they got their own set out there, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's tough. That's tough. But to drop the low on him because you now what another thing is, he is cool with Lil Durk. Like, they got history. So is it possible? Maybe. I don't know. Hopefully not. That would be dirty. You know what I'm saying? Especially if he's doing that to another key. Man, that'd be crazy, man. That's crazy. But I don't put nothing past nobody. But I hear you, dog. JM put that post out there, said he dropped the low on Quando. He said that it's a rumor that Brick Baby dropped the low on Quando because he was fake claiming rolling 60s. JM also said that's why he put his flag down and Pab got killed. I remember right after the shooting, he said he was dropping his flag because Quando Rondo probably put 2 and 2 together in his head, said, my own set gave up my low, or the people I checked in with gave up my location. So why in the world am I keep banging this? You know what I'm saying? So what in the world? And I feel him. You go in and check in the headquarters, you're like, yo, I'm in town, man, I'm good. And they drop your location to the ops? That's crazy. That get you up out of here? I'll stop claiming it too. That makes sense, bro. Like, what in the world, what part of the game is that? Dang, man, it's a cold game, man. Gave the Joker the key to Gotham. That's funny. I feel like Brick dropped the location. He looks grimy, like he'd do anything for a quick buck. Brick does have that look, like he'd do anything for some quick change, man. He does. Not anything suspect, you know what I'm saying?
Bruh.
But I don't know. Maybe his relationship with Lil Durk is what got people saying that too. But then it's like, why the F would Brick go on No Jumper talking about, and this is JM saying this, about if he 60s had anything to do with it. He was probably sweating on the show this morning just because he knew that clip would be used. Yeah, that clip is everywhere. That clip is on TikTok, Instagram going viral, everywhere. Like, regardless of what he thinks or knows, Brick Baby's name is associated with this case or tied in, you know what I mean? Everybody that thought it was funny is quiet AF now. When the feds come, they got you. Yeah, man. Thank you, Renee Williams, for that comment. But that's 100% true. Everybody was like, slide for Vaughn, do it for Vaughn, do it for your homie. And, people were like, okay, he went out here and did it for his homie, and where did that get him, bruh? Because at this moment, people are alleging that one of his homies is one of the ones who got him in this situation, or one of the ones who has got him, currently locked up right now, on his way to getting extradited to California and facing a possible life in prison or death penalty. Man.
Bruh.
Man, it don't pay to be a street dude these days. I'm telling you, dog. I don't know how y'all keep signing up for this. It ain't worth it. I know the YNs be crashing out. They be on whatever, but dog, let this be a learning lesson to you. Lil Durk is at the top of hip hop, top of rap, Grammy Award. Money, he can sell out his home stadium. You know what I'm saying? He can go to his home stadium, the United Center or whatever it is, and sell that joker out. Had a whole city going crazy. And now, because of this mess, he possibly could be seeing of Until Then or death sentence or Colorado Supermax. Are you crazy? I don't wish that kind of, especially if you listed at the top as the top conspirator number one, the top of the organization in a murder for hire plot. That could be in his future, man, which is crazy, bro.
Bruh.
Somebody said, but then it's like, why the F would Brick go on no jump? Okay, talked about that. Curtis Carter, it's no coincidence he got to 2 keys to the community. Now he locked up for murder for hire allegations, inside job for sure. Yeah, okay. As we were going through the indictment, there were key instances, and I could pull it back up too, where there's information in here they wouldn't know without an informant, man. Now I'm pretty sure the video that they got is pretty good, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna get that in the court case, and probably even before that. Like whenever they make the discovery public, people are gonna comb through that like it's going out of style. They're gonna look for the videos and everything. I know I am. Excuse me. And what they said is, there were some things said like who was driving, who was in which car, who died. They don't know that information through the guessing game. You know what I mean? Is all I was trying to say. Like that information is known because of usually an informant. And there's obviously an informant in this case. There's no ifs and buts about that, man. All right? Let's see. Quando checked in with Big U, not Brick Baby, and them to, though, Brick, a different gang, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, now, sort of. Okay, so Brick Baby and Big U, dang, I hate to say it like, okay, Brick Baby and Big U are allegedly rolling 60s, right? Everybody's got their factions within gangs, especially one as big as Rolling 60, right? Because Rolling 60s is huge, and they kind of like the top of the whole neighborhood car. So for all of the neighborhood gangs, which is Rolling 60s, Rolling 40s, the 50s, on and on and on and on, right? Everything breaks up into different, within those different sets. So like Rolling 60 is huge, right? They cover a large land area, a large strip, a large road, Crenshaw, and all that. You just have different cliques. It doesn't mean they're in different gangs. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully that makes sense. All right. They're saying, somebody else said, and that was D. And thanks for the comment, D. You know, make sure y'all hit that like button. Slide right to prison. No more tell. Can't eat what you want up in there with hard legs and blue. Yeah, definitely prison is a hard life, man. Who in the world want to go from eating lobster and shrimp and flying all over the world and being adored and loved by your fans to in there with 3 hots in a cot, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, all you get is somewhere to sleep and 3 hot meals, and they not that hot from what I hear. And this is fed, so, I mean, I have seen this being said a couple of times, and I don't know, man.
Bruh.
They say, don't hold me this, they say in the feds they actually eat better. Like, they actually eat better than like the state. Like in the feds, you actually get fed better, you eat better, you know what I mean? So it's still bad, it's still prison food, and you know, you're in the feds and people are trying to kill each other and stuff, but it's not like the state where, you know, they just give you a brick of food and they say, hey, that's lunch, and another brick for dinner, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to you though, bro. Gotta be the most level-headed coverage of this out right now though. I appreciate it, man, you know what I mean? Yeah, man. I try to make sure I maintain a level head when it comes to that. You know what I mean? To talking about it. And on a level where we all relate. You know what I'm saying? And pointing out stuff that's funny that we shouldn't be laughing at. You'll be lucky if it's even hot and a full cot. Yeah, man, that's true. Because, yeah, where you sleep might be a steel bunk. You know, it's most likely going to be a steel bunk. And so the way that prisons have been overcrowded and the way that they've been throwing cats in the feds. I just talked to a rapper about this. There's so many people in the feds now, man, because of these switches and stuff, man. So, and for gun arrests, like for single, like the rapper I was talking about, he was in there for a gun, like for being caught with a gun in a state that you're not supposed to have a gun, and it went federal. And if you notice, Crip Mac's charge was federal. And if you notice, Boosie's charge was federal. And if you notice, I think they even put NBA YoungBoy's charges up to the federal. So you're seeing a lot more people going to the feds, where that used to be a game for the bosses. Like you used to go to the feds, you was the boss. You was the big meat type. You was a cat. You was at the top of the pyramid. So your charges came federal. Everybody else might have went state, but you was the boss. You was a cat who was getting big money. You was in some sort of organization. Y'all was really successful. Somebody made their career off that case of putting you in prison. And we're not seeing that anymore. A lot of the guys going to feds is because of gun laws. And once you put that switch on your gun, it becomes a fed case. And there's a lot of that going on. You know what I mean? So good point. D says, Witty, do you think this Durk situation gonna help Mama Duck's civil lawsuit in a negative or a positive way? You said, I don't know. What did you say? She about to get paid. You're saying laughing she about to get paid. I see what you're saying. And D, you are making a great point there, bro, because I think this federal case is gonna help Mama Duck's civil case, because she filed a civil case, for those of you who don't know, against Lil Durk. And in her civil case, she was basically alluding to the fact that he had made money, and she didn't just sue Lil Durk. So let me clear that up. She sued Lil Durk, King Von's estate. So those people who are making money even after his passing, the record label, the one parent record label, the other parent record label of King Von's setup, and then another subsidiary label or whatnot, and management. Or you see what I'm saying? So a lot of different people whoever structured this lawsuit, it almost looks like a slam dunk. And for him to catch a federal case, it clearly shows that in her claim in the lawsuit, and I want to bring this up, hold up, because I got that story on stash. But as I'm bringing this up, in her case, in the lawsuit, she specifically said that OTF was a criminal organization as opposed to being just a record label. You know what I'm saying? Trying to eliminate the fact that he's just a record label, which would probably limit the fact that she could, sue him and prove that he had anything to do with it and profited off the death of FBG Duck. But the fact that she said that, it's a criminal organization, and now he's being brought up on charges as OTF as a criminal organization, like you said, that only helps her case, D. I think that only helps her case. So I want to see, I want to pull up this story right here. Yep. I got so many stories I had to look through it, but we're talking about, and I want y'all to be able to see it too. So we're talking about this right here. So rapper FBG Duck's mom sues Lil Durk, King Von's estate, over son's brazen Golden Coast killing. You know what I mean? The lawsuit filed Wednesday, and this was on the 9th, so this was earlier this month. The lawsuit filed Wednesday in Cook County Court alleges that rap superstar Lil Durk, his slain protege King Von, and a handful of high-profile record labels monetized the killing of FBG Duck in August 2020. Excuse me. Now check the word in there, because that's the key. Monetize the killing. So they just have to prove that they made profit off of his death. And that's Mama Duck right there with his gold record. And the best way to prove that is by, showing that they were involved in the process and and benefited from what happened due to the killing being carried out, right? Now, what hurt this case a little bit in the beginning when I first read it and thought about it was, well, Lil Durk was not mentioned in the O Block case at all. King Von's estate, King Von was mentioned in the O Block case. They were found guilty. So, but Lil Durk was not mentioned in that case at all. He was not found guilty of anything, any involvement or anything in that case. King Von, a lot of O Block affiliates, Moo-Wop, C-Murder, C-Thing, all those cats, dog. They were found guilty. So yeah, when it comes to King Von's estate, yeah, maybe. But when it comes to this case, the fact that they're labeling OTF as a criminal organization and that King Von was labeled as his protege and also artist, that shows a bigger umbrella, and maybe this strengthens her case. You know what I'm saying? The mother of rapper FBG Duck filed an explosive lawsuit Wednesday that seeks to connect rap superstar Lil Durk and his slain protege, you can use both, King Von, to her son's gang-related killing in Gold Coast. Where's the good part? Where's the juicy stuff? I want to say, here it goes. Now, piggybacking largely on evidence laid bare at the criminal trial, the lawsuit filed in Cook County Court alleges Durk's record label, Only the Family, or OTF, is a criminal enterprise. That's it right there. That's the language that they're looking for to get proven. And if that's already in the federal case, if it gets found, especially if he's found guilty in the federal case, this civil case might be a slam dunk. The label, which included Vaughn as a signee, has held contracts with the media giant Sony and other large labels, which allegedly welcomed artists engaged in criminal activity. At a news conference Wednesday in The Loop, Duck's girlfriend and mother, Lashina Weekly, joined their attorney to decree Duck's rap counterparts and the companies that have enriched them. Without a doubt, Lil Durk, OTF, King Von, O-Block, a criminal organization, could never have achieved the international fame and become so emboldened to kill a rival musician without the promotion, distribution, and financial support provided to them by these record companies, attorney Roosevelt Allen III said. So this the way this is worded and crafted, I don't know, man. This might be, especially with the federal case in the O-Block RICO case already over,
Bruh.
and Lil Durk facing a OTF case, and it's not a RICO case at this time, but him being, we'll see how this is structured when it comes out.
Bruh.
Yeah. It looks like she might win her civil case, bro. Just by the wording alone, man. You got to prove without a benefit of a doubt that it was a criminal organization and that they benefited off of his death. But we know through the rap lyrics and everything that's going on with the rapping, within drill rap, that that might not be too hard to prove. I mean, they got a song called "Shoulda Ducked." You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, dog, when them chickens come home to roost, bro, it'd be crazy. Now, okay, I want to talk about one more reaction that was out there, and I think it was Lil Twin as well, and he put this out there too. So let me blow this up for you guys. So this was after the five were arrested, right? And then Lil Durk was arrested, and this guy right here next to Lil Durk is OTF Lil Twin. You guys might remember him from when King Von had lost his life. He had went viral because he was in a car with some goons. I'll say that much. I ain't gonna do too much, but it was a crazy scene. And what he had in his hand didn't look like a water gun. But hold up, man, stop.
Bruh.
Let me stop, bro. Am I over here dry snitching? Let me stop. He was on live, so everybody who's seen that live knows what I'm talking about, man. Now after Lil Durk got locked up, he started to out people who he doesn't trust. And this is another one of the pictures that he put out there on his Instagram story. He says, "We got another one." And he put this name, Over East Finest. And I'm guessing he's saying this guy's from Over East. And he's alluding to the fact that this guy might be telling as well. That's what it seems with all those rat emojis. Now, I'm not saying this guy is telling, but I'm saying that's the second person that since Lil Durk has been arrested, that this dude that he's posted, man. So it's, I don't know, man. What do y'all think? I'm in a chat reading mood. Somebody said, "You still can't tell me Durk didn't tell on Von while he was dead. Why did Fanny say only Von would go to jail for it if he were here, but all of them on that dang video chase the dude?" You said, "Get out of here." Nah, Renee Williams, I seen that video front, back, side to side. I saw the video version that came from the club across the street. And it's an interesting situation when you look at that, man, because I guess you see what goes on. They basically say, forget it, man. We about to put everything on the guy who's already passed away. That way everything could go away. Like, it makes it easier for everybody involved in the case, including the prosecutors. Because now it's not too hard to prosecute a case against a dead guy. You know what I'm saying? Knock on wood.
Bruh.
But good comment, Renee Williams. Now, D says, especially if it's wiretap or wiretape on Durk and D-Thing both on there. Oh, man. Now, that would be crazy. Now, D-Thing lost his life, I want to say, before the shooting, right? When did Lil Durk's brother D-Thing lose his life? Because this shooting took place August 2022. D-Thing. D-Thing had already lost his life, bro. So D-Thing lost his life in June of 2021. So this shooting took place in 2022. Now, is it possible he could have been on wiretap or on them tapes as well if there was a wire? Possible. But I mean, you know, he's already passed away, you know, and you don't know. You don't know how much he might, there's a possibility he might have said too much, like not knowing dude was on a wire, allegedly.
Bruh.
That's crazy. But man, D-Thing had passed away before the Quando Rondo Lil Pab hit took place. But nah, that's a good point. I always feel like Lil Tim did what he was supposed to do. Yeah, I don't think anybody could deny that, Renee Williams. What Lil Tim did is what most of these dudes hire their homeboys to do. Like, there ain't nothing, nobody could combat that. Like, in the same situation, they would want their homeboys to do the same thing. Now, JM says, right, that's a good friend. However you want to chop it up, that's what you would have these cats around for. So, nah, man, I don't think anybody's holding what Lil Tim did against him, except for, obviously, OTF and O-Block, right? Now, for real, like, they know god dang well they were going to kill them boys. They just weren't going, they were just going who going to be letting folks bully them, and they're outnumbered. Now, to be real, yeah, they back was against the wall when it comes to Quando Rondo and them. Yeah, definitely, man. This is crazy. And to be perfectly honest, it's only going to get crazier. Like, this whole situation is only at the beginning because we haven't seen the full indictment against Lil Durk. We don't have that yet. We got the OTF alleged indictment, but Lil Durk is not mentioned in this, at all. And at all. No, he's not even mentioned in the indictment. So in all 18 pages, he's not mentioned. Conspirator number 1 is mentioned. Co-conspirator number 2 is mentioned. But co-conspirator number 2 was actually on the ground. That person was actually there when the shooting took place. So I don't think that's Durk. That would only leave conspirator number 1, which would put that person at the boss label, which would be bad for Durk if that was him. You know what I mean? Horrible situation. Horrible, man. Now, okay, let's talk about this. So recently, Lil Durk had a Pushing Peace concert. A concert where he said, yo, we pushing peace. He brought J-Mane out. And while we do this, I'm going to take this picture down. Hold up, before we get into it. Where's my guy? There you go. All right. So Lil Durk had this concert, man. And he has the ability to sell out shows, especially in his hometown, right? And when he throws a concert for his birthday, it's a big event, man, every year. Even though somebody was shot outside of it, for the most part, it was a peaceful event. And it seemed like there was a theme of pushing peace. You saw FYB J-Mane out there. Now, J-Mane used to diss Lil Durk. He used to diss all of them. He was technically the ops, you know what I'm saying? And there ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So it goes to show that Durk had went to a different level where he was actually trying to push some peace. Make a positive change out here, you know what I mean? But I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Do you think that Lil Durk did a lot of this pushing peace and, showing a lot of his religious beliefs and things like that as a cover? Or do you think possibly he really had some remorse for something? Or another possibility, was this just another way to subvert the law or try to change people's general perception about him because he knew a trial or something was coming down, man. Because I even seen DJ Academic say that it's rumored or that he was told that there was going to be something coming for Durk over a year ago, you know? So, which is crazy because over a year ago would be still 2023, and this hit happened in August 2022. So this case could have been being built that whole time. That's through all that time, those 2 years, somebody could have been around him wearing a wire. Somebody could have been doing a lot of things. So was this pushing peace a way to kind of clean his hands of a lot of this stuff? What do y'all think? I really want to hear y'all opinions about that in the comments, man. Let's see. Let's open it up for discussion. Hold up. Renee Williams says, for real, like they know. Okay, I already read that. She also says, Renee Williams says the credit card purchase for the rental is enough who he trusts enough to give that card to. Very good point. Like, who in the world does Lil Durk trust enough to give a credit card that's going to be the credit card that buys everything for the hit? And how is this credit card being attached to OTF is what I'm wondering, for real. Like, that's a real question.
Bruh.
Outside of this, a 15-year-old drill rapper affiliated beefing with Bloodhounds. Oh, yeah, man. I saw that. You're talking about, what is it? Lil 50. No, excuse me. Q50 with Lil 50. Talking about that kid, man. I didn't even want to do a blog about it, man, because that was heartbreaking. I ain't even gonna lie. JM, that was because dog, like, come on, man. 15? Bro, you ain't even lived your life. And they said he was being raised by his 19-year-old sister, which is crazy. Shorty just ain't have a chance, man. You know? Or he had a slim chance, is what I'll say, man, which is sad, bro. That's horrible, man. I believe number 2 is either someone, okay. D says, I believe number 2 is either someone from California that helped out OTF navigate California freely, or maybe Brick. Oh, snap. I wish I had an alarm for that one. That would be crazy. Because remember, co-conspirator number 2 in this indictment is doing everything. Like, he's hands-on, like he's hands-on with the planning. Co-conspirator number 2 is hands-on with the shooting. They're actually one of the people who's shooting. And then co-conspirator number 2 is one of the people who sets up the payment, like discusses who's going to get paid and how they're going to get paid. So whoever co-conspirator number 2 is, they're like number 2, or they're like number 1 in charge of running this operation. Co-conspirator number 2 is listed, like I said, 25 times in this indictment. They drove in the vehicles. They actually jumped out. They helped with the tracking. Okay, and they were the person, hold up. Stop. Yep. Including defendants. Okay, so co-conspirator 2, they helped with the tracking, and they were the shooters. They were one of the shooters. Co-conspirator number 3 was one of the people who's basically, they were in between. They were the person who got the cards for everything, was doing the purchasing for everything. But whoever co-conspirator number 2 is, they were in every part of this process. They fired multiple shots. They're listed on count 8, or item 8, I should say. So to say that's Brick Baby, that would be crazy, man. Hopefully not. And we're not saying it's Brick Baby, but that would be crazy. Yeah, Q50 with Lil 50. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Rest in peace to Lil Man, man. God dang. What if Brick had the card? That would be crazy too. I'm hoping not, man. I am not, and if Brick Baby ever hears this to anybody, I am not implicating him in this. I'm just reading the chat. But that would be crazy, bro. But whoever co-conspirator number 2 was, so there's 5 co-conspirators that are not listed in this indictment, 1 through 5. And whoever co-conspirator number 2 was, they were involved in every part of the process, man. With the setup for the planes, with everything, man. This is crazy. Yeah, man. Hopefully, that could be somebody from Cali. They know the lay of the land. They can put the tracking device on the car and not be detected. All of that, you know what I'm saying? And they probably, man, this is how cold the game is. What if when Quando Rondo went to the home base or the headquarters of his hood where it originates from to check in, thinking he's checking in with the homies or whatever, what if they put the tracking device on his car then? God. Nah.
Bruh.
It's a dirty game, bro. They probably did it then when he checked in. It was like, yeah, we got you, dog. You checked in? Okay, cool. Hey,
Bruh.
hey, Durk, we got him here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's what happened, but what if that happened, bro? That'd be crazy, man. He has a lyric, now I'm in L.A. eating sushi with Diddy. Pause. P. Diddy was oh, y'all wild. Y'all wild. Rondo knows who he told where he will be, and if he's smart, he purposely didn't tell too many people, so the case will be that much easier to solve. Yeah, heck yeah. Knowing the kind of heat that they had, shootings and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure he only told 1 or 2 people. So Quando Rondo knows who set him up. That's why when he went back to Savannah, he was like, I don't want to be a Rolling 60 no more. I'm going to drop my flag. He knows who he told who when he was moving about. You know what I mean? That's for facts. Who said that? I missed that. It's going. Who put that comment? I can't find it. Okay, Renee Williams. Yes, Renee Williams. You are right on target, bro. Quando Rondo knows exactly who he was talking to. You know what I'm saying? What does Diddy have to do with this? I don't know. CCTV said that. Quando said no to Diddy. Pause. Y'all hilarious, bro. Let me see. D says, could be possible, and it would make sense why Quando said he was dropping his flag. D, you retracted that message, right? I was just reading it, man. Maybe it was too good, man. Let me stop. I definitely saw an interview with some big Crip saying, nah, those Georgia boys ain't real Crips. For real? He said that? I don't know, man. Most cats, they kind of stay out of the politics of other cities and other states because, you know, you'd expect them to stay out of your politics. You feel me? That's why Brick got to sweeten and tweaking. That's when he had his crash out episode. Yeah, I seen that clip. Like he asked Brick Baby asked like 10 times. Like nobody was paying attention to him either. Either have a nervous breakdown. They got Fed charges. He was like, once again, they got Fed charges. Going through it. But I remember when Brick Baby used to be on No Jumper, I'd be looking at him and he'd really be bad. Like he'd be like dang near having the shakes or something like that. You know, it was crazy, bro. But nah, man. It's ugly business, man. Kids, stay out of the streets. You know what I'm saying? For real. I had my sound effect ready for that too. Definitely saw an interview with Renee Williams says that's why Brick got to. Okay, I read that. Yep, his behavior was given sus. Well, I definitely can't say whether he was a big Crip, but he was presented as so. I think it was in TLR video activity. That's crazy, man. Yeah, man, you never know. But a lot of guys who used to be street guys have platforms now, and they tell some interesting stories, and I'll be locked in for all that. I'll be listening to all that. So you never know, man. But let this be, if you're from an out-of-town gang, you think you're going to go to L.A. and get some sort of like love back or they going to look out for you, man, let this be the lesson, man. Do not fall for that, bruh. That is the biggest.
Stop it. Get some help.
That is the biggest okie doke, man, going. You know what I'm saying? Because them dudes will do you dirty. Because they don't care about nothing but where they from, they said they people. Now that's exactly, that's what it's all based. You'll get it. Those who get it will know. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. So yeah, man, they probably did Quando dirty, man, based on this. Now I don't know if co-conspirator. Hold up, because co-conspirator 2. I want to check this about co-conspirator 2. Because it says they all flew back in overt count. Huh. This is interesting. Co-conspirator 2 didn't fly in with them, but co-conspirator 2 flew out with them. You know what I mean? Interesting. Maybe that was a part of how they worked out the payment and stuff. Hold up. Let me see. Hold up. Nah, co-conspirator 2, whoever that is, they flew from Chicago. So co-conspirator 2, I doubt is anybody local in LA. I mean, it could be somebody from LA local, and they planned it with them out there in Chicago. But nah, they did fly in with them. And co-conspirator 2 flew out with them as well. You know what I mean? So it looks like whoever co-conspirator 2 is, I don't know. But this part right here is what got a lot of people talking about these two cats. These are the two alleged shooters. So the co-conspirator 2 and these two cats, who are also from Chicago, but allegedly some vice lords, you know what I'm saying, from a whole different, got their own war or anything, were kind of like contracted out for this shooting, you know what I mean? Where a lot of the other guys who are OTF, like OTF Didi and all those cats, were doing the tracking, were doing the driving, OTF, or allegedly doing the tracking, allegedly doing the driving, and OTF Boogie was allegedly the driver the whole time as well. While these cats got out and did the shooting with co-conspirator 2, as listed in the indictment. And these guys are Flocka and another guy by the name of Brown Eyes. Pause. You know what I mean? I don't want no problems though, man. He's a shooter. I don't want none. You know what I mean? And they all innocent until proven guilty as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? They went and did a job and blamed OTF. Crazy, man. Yeah, they went. They was just hired as outside shooters, according to this indictment, man. And then they just flew right back to California. They tried to cover their tracks, but those credit cards really got them jacked up. If you mention one thing in the indictment, man. Credit card 1 and credit card 2. Yeah, it's hard, man. Did they have to stay in a hotel? They should have stayed in them cars. Well, no. They had to get the cars using credit card 2. That's what they used credit card 2 to get the cars. And they used credit card 1, and they're labeled OTF credit card in the indictment to get the tickets. So crazy. I don't know. There's a hard, like I said, it ain't easy to commit crime these days. So that's a tough one right there, bro. Breaking that code. They would have had to drive. I don't know. It's a tough one. Tough. But man, as far as this case goes and what's going on with Lil Durk, that's where we are. But I couldn't get out of here without posing this question to you guys. So let's chop this up. So for a long time, people were yelling, slide for Vaughn, slide for Vaughn, slide for Vaughn. Things went quiet after Lil Durk did the interview, and he was like, people ain't saying that much anymore. Do you think fans are in any way in part to blame? I hate to do that. Don't kill me. Don't kill me in the comments, man. Don't kill me in the comments, man. You know what I mean? But they were asking for Lil Durk to put something in action. And I'm not saying he did, but now when you get what you asked for, you got one of your biggest rap artists in the game right now, most successful rap artist in the game, who's just about to drop an album, looking at facing some time. You know what I'm saying? A lot of time. So what do y'all think? Somebody in the comments said, inside job. Explain. Leave that in the comments, especially when we close out here, chat. If you have anything, leave it in the comments. You know what I mean? But I'd want to know why you think it's an inside job. Sounds like they're stupid as had their phones, huh? That is true, man. Well, it sounds like they had phones, definitely. Because how else are they going to track whatever tracking device they put on Quando's car? So they probably put an AirTag or something. There's all sorts of tracking devices. You can buy them on Amazon for cheap. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. If they brought their phones, they dumb. Using them credit cards is dumb. All that stuff is dumb. The rental cars have trackers on them now. They were going to find out exactly where their car been. Yeah, they could have. I don't know. That'd be really elaborate. Like tracking them from the rental car place. He is not in Florida. Who's not in Florida? Lil Durk was in Florida and where he got booked. He's booked in Broward now, and they're moving him to California. So they probably moved him already, especially if his booking info isn't up there. But as of last night, his booking info was up there. Like everything was up there. You could see Lil Durk's mugshot in the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? So, he might not be there anymore. They might be extraditing him. You know? Our phones tell everything, even fake phones. Yeah. Even those phones, like any phone, man. Every phone communicates with a cell tower. And then, this is the crazy part. Your phone is actually communicating with other phones in your area as well. Like they communicate with each other. That's why you can swap your phones out now by just putting them next to each other if you have iPhones. Like, dog, committing a crime with a phone even in your vicinity is crazy work. You know what I'm saying? Lil Durk is in Cali, not Florida. Oh, they already moved him to California? Maybe they flew him there overnight, which is no problem. But once they indict him, they're going to publish his indictment. It's going to be up for the world to see exactly what the case they have against Lil Durk. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We'll see. All right, man. Now I've had y'all here for over 2 hours. Those of you who sat around and really went over this indictment with me, broke this case down with me, and contributed to the chat, I appreciate you. Those who just listened, I appreciate you too. But all in the same, it'll mean a great deal if y'all make sure y'all hit that like button as we close this thing down. Now with that, I want to shout out to everybody in the chat. Everybody who's going to watch this later, make sure you leave a comment and I'll answer as much as I can. But with that, this has been your boy Big Man, and we out of here. Oh yeah, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I go live. And we out. Peace.